Welcome to one of the most formative and terrifying time periods ever, the Cenozoic era. You'll find giant creatures like woolly mammoths and megalodons roaming the seas, along with some other creatures you might be a little bit more familiar with, but more on that later. Let's strap in and travel back in time to the Cenozoic era. How would you survive during this period? Why was Earth so dangerous? And how is this era similar to modern day? This is What If, and here's what would happen if you traveled to the Cenozoic era. Okay, you're now 66 million years in the past. You just missed the age of dinosaurs by a couple of million years. They were wiped out by a giant asteroid and are now extinct. But that doesn't mean that other life hasn't found a way. The death of the dinos made way for new creatures to emerge. Mammals. Yeah, the early Cenozoic period saw the rise of primitive mammals that would begin to diversify into different evolutionary niches. Let's explore and check them out. One of the most famous mammals during this time was the megafauna. These were giant creatures that roamed the earth. A lot of these probably look familiar. Go to the colder regions of the earth and you'll find packs of woolly mammoths roaming about. These guys were nearly 3.5 meters tall and weighed up to 8 tons. Okay, go over to what's now known as Australia and you'll see the diprotodon. This is the biggest marsupial that ever lived and looks like a giant wombat. And it wasn't just the mammals that were giant. Watch out in the water because you'll be met with one of the most terrifying creatures ever, the megalodon. This giant shark dominated the oceans with teeth as big as 18 centimeters and a body as long as 20 meters. I could go on, but we have so much more to explore. As the rise of mammals happened, many of them went extinct. And unfortunately, stuff like that is still going on today. Luckily, our friends over at Planet Wild are working on solutions to stop that from happening. And you can help too, right from your couch. Stick around till the end of the video for more info on how you can help. Let's check out a couple of other creatures and then I'm going to show you something really cool. The Cenozoic era also had the Glyptodon, which was like a giant armadillo, the Megatherium, a giant sloth and one of the largest of the mammals, and the Elasmotherium, also known as the Siberian unicorn. It was basically a woolly version of a rhinoceros. And there were a bunch more creatures. But why were they all so big? Well, researchers have several different theories as to why these creatures became so massive. One of the leading ones is that with the dinosaurs gone, these mammals could thrive in open habitats, helping them grow larger and larger as generations progressed. But there's another incredibly important mammal I haven't mentioned yet, and although it's not a giant, it is one of the most important. And that's you. Well, sort of. Humans' early ancestors were primates. With the death of the dinosaurs, the rise of primates became possible, allowing them to evolve. Early primates were small and weak creatures when the Cenozoic era started, but they had two key features to help them become dominant: grasping fingers and forward-facing eyes. Over millions of years, they survived and later thrived on Earth. This led to primates diversifying and the emergence of different species, which then gave us two main groups: the primates, who would later evolve into monkeys and apes, and the hominids, who would later evolve into humans. But this wouldn't happen for millions of years. As the Cenozoic era progressed, hominids learned how to use tools, control fire, and develop the beginnings of early language. As more and more hominids appeared, they spread globally and could be found in Asia, Europe, Africa, and North America. Some of these species died out, specifically the Neanderthal. They evolved outside of Africa and adapted to live life in Eurasia, but As modern humans progressed, they were more technologically advanced, eventually leading to the extinction of the Neanderthal. As more and more species of hominids evolved, more and more died out. The only ones to survive were the Homo sapiens, who stayed in Africa. Their brains continued to grow, leading to more advanced language, technology, culture, and eventually you. Speaking of you, how would you survive in this era? Well, to do that, it'd be helpful to know what the Cenozoic era was made up of. After all, it spanned tens of millions of years and a lot of stuff happened. The Cenozoic era is divided into 3 time periods: Paleogene, Neogene, and the Quaternary Period. Let's quickly break them down. Paleogene Period. This marked the start of the Cenozoic era. The mammals we've been talking about, along with flowering plants, have begun to emerge. Oh, and watch out for some creepy-looking insects. Earth's tectonic plates continued to shape continents, as they have been for many millions of years. South America and Africa would continue to move apart, and the Himalayas would begin to form. You'd notice a generally warm and comfortable climate, but that would start to change as you move into the next era. Neogene Period. Okay, the hominids we've been talking about have now appeared, and more modern plants and animals have begun to evolve. One of the main things you'll notice is how much colder it's getting. Ice ages are becoming more common during this period. Quaternary Period. This period had multiple ice ages and interglacial moments. The Earth cooled down and heated up several times. Humans, along with the large mammals we mentioned earlier, had more impact than ever before. This period is also known as the Anthropocene, which recognizes the significant impact humans had on the Earth's ecosystem and geology. So, how would you survive during these times? Well, it would be much easier than if you were to live in a time period even further away. Hundreds of millions of years ago, Earth had more oxygen, which would make breathing more difficult. But luckily, you don't need to worry about that. You just have to be wary of the giant animals trying to kill you, the unpredictable weather, and the weird kinds of foods that could make you sick. Sounds easy, right? Hopefully, you'll be able to cozy up with some early hominids and join their tribe. They'll have access to shelter, fire, and tools. And if you can't manage to do that, well, find a cave, make a fire, and hope for the best. But wait, you're technically surviving in the Cenozoic era right now. Yeah, that's right. This era hasn't ended yet. We're currently living in the Quaternary Period. Eras on Earth are typically marked by major geological shifts or mass extinctions, neither of which we've had to deal with, luckily. But what if we did? What if humanity suddenly went extinct? Would that mark the start of a new era? Well, that sounds like a story for another What If. Hey, don't click off just yet. As a thank you for making it to the end of the video, I have a gift for you. Our friends at Planet Wild are going on monthly missions to help preserve nature and bring back endangered species, all the while documenting their progress on YouTube. In their latest mission, they're using honeybees to save elephants and protect farmers' crops in Tanzania. It's all funded by a community that wants to give back to nature by funding ecosystem restoration missions where it really matters. By being a member of the Planet Wild app, you also get to vote on what you'd like your funds to be used for. I've been subscribed to it for a while now, and I like how I can track their progress and find videos documenting their missions. I love the app so much that I want you to try it out for free. That's why the first 200 people that sign up will get the first month on me. Just click on the link in the description or scan the QR code and use the creator code WHATIF.